Alright, let's talk about why you need Aventurine in your life. First of all, he'll bring you good luck, like finding money in the couch cushions levels of luck. Secondly, he's the ultimate good luck charm for gamblers. Imagine a shiny human-like green stone watching over you, making sure you never hit a losing streak. And third, the more you give him a good smack, in the game of course, the more he rains cash on you. So, if you're an Aventurine enjoyer, then this guy needs to be on your team. Alright, all jokes aside, in this video, I'll walk you through the ultimate Aventurine guide including his kit, best Lightcone, relics, ornaments, team setups, and many more, so that you can get the most out of this powerhouse. Sit back, relax, grab a tea or coffee and enjoy the show. Aventurine is a top-tier preservation unit. He has an incredible shield and can deal solid damage, making him a great alternative to Gepard. Basic attack. Aventurine deals imaginary damage equal to 100% of his def to a single enemy target. Skill. Aventurine provides all allies with a fortified wager shield that can block damage equal to 24% of his def plus 320, lasting for 3 turns. The shield effect can stack with repeated use, up to 200% of the shield's initial value. Ultimate. Aventurine randomly gains 1 to 7 points of blind bet, then inflicts unnerved on a single target enemy for 3 turns. He also deals imaginary damage equal to 270% of his def to the same enemy. When an ally hits an unnerved enemy, the crit damage dealt increases by 15%. Talent. Aventurine increases the effect RES of an ally with fortified wager by 50%. When that ally is attacked, Aventurine gains 1 point of blind bet. When Aventurine has fortified wager, he can resist crowd control debuffs. This effect can trigger again after 2 turns. Aventurine also gains 1 point of blind bet each time he's attacked. Once Aventurine reaches 7 points of blind bet, he consumes them to launch a 7-hit follow-up attack, dealing imaginary damage equal to 25% of his def to a random enemy with each hit. Blind bet is capped at 10 points. Technique. After using his technique, one of the following effects will be granted. A chance for def to increase by 24%, a high chance for def to increase by 36%, or a small chance for def to increase by 60%. When the technique is used multiple times, the effect with the highest buff value is retained. When the next battle starts, all allies' def is increased by the corresponding value, lasting for 3 turns. Aventurine's traces further enhance his kit, and they are called Leverage, Hot Hand, and Bingo. Trace 1. For every 100 def that exceeds 1,600, Aventurine's crit rate increases by 2%, up to a maximum of 48%. To reach the maximum crit rate boost, Aventurine needs a total def of 4,000. Trace 2. At the start of battle, grants all allies a fortified wager shield. The shield's effect is equal to 100% of the one provided by his skill, lasting for 3 turns. Trace 3. After an ally with the fortified wager shield launches a follow-up attack, Aventurine accumulates 1 blind bet point. This can trigger up to 3 times, and the count resets at the start of Aventurine's turn. After Aventurine launches his talent's follow-up attack, he provides all allies with a fortified wager shield that can block damage equal to 7.2% of his def plus 96. Additionally, the ally with the lowest shield effect also receives a fortified wager shield that can block damage equal to 7.2% of Aventurine's def plus 96, lasting for 3 turns. To maximize Aventurine's performance, if you have enough jades after pulling him, consider his signature 5-star Lightcone, Inherently Unjust Destiny. This increases the wearer's def by 40%. When the wearer provides a shield to an ally, their crit damage increases by 40% for 2 turns. Additionally, when the wearer's follow-up attack hits an enemy, there is a 100% base chance to increase the damage taken by the attacked enemy by 10% for 2 turns. If you can't get Aventurine's signature Lightcone, the next best option is the 5-star Lightcone Moment of Victory. You might already have this one. If not, it's a great option to equip. It increases the wearer's def by 24% and effect hit rate by 24%, as well as the chance for the wearer to be attacked by enemies. When the wearer is attacked, their def increases by an additional 24% until the end of their turn. There are also some solid 4-star options. Day 1 of My New Life, S5, increases the wearer's DF by 24%, and after entering battle, it boosts all allies all-type RES by 12%. Note that abilities of the same type cannot stack. I highly recommend getting one of these Lightcones. Lastly, if you don't have any of those, you can still go for Concert of Two or Landau's Choice. Now for the interesting part, Relics. For a pure defense setup, your go-to set should be Knight of Purity Palace. The 2-piece set increases def by 15%, while the 4-piece set boosts the max damage absorbed by the wearer's shield by 20%. Another option is to combine a 2-piece Knight of Purity Palace with a 2-piece set of Messenger, Wastelander, or Pioneer, depending on your needs. Personally, I use the Pioneer Diver of Dead Waters set. The 2-piece set increases damage dealt to debuffed enemies by 12%, and the 4-piece set boosts crit rate by 4%. The wearer also deals an additional 8%, 12% crit damage to enemies with at least 2/3 debuffs. After the wearer inflicts a debuff on enemy targets, the aforementioned effects increase by 100%, lasting for 1 turn. Aside from Aventurine's ultimate, the downside is that to activate the full 100% bonus of the 4-piece set, you need to apply debuffs through follow-up and basic attacks. This requires his signature Lightcone for follow-up attacks and E2 for basic attacks. Ultimately, this set shines if you have debuffers on your team and pairs especially well with an Acheron team. For ornaments, I highly recommend the 2-piece Broken Keel set. It increases the wearer's effect RES by 10%, and if the wearer's effect RES reaches 30% or higher, all allies' crit damage goes up by 10%. Main stats. Focus on def percent for the body, boots, planar sphere, and rope. You'll want def percent as the primary stat on each piece. Only consider crit or speed if you've already reached a total of 4,000 def. Substats. Prioritize def percent, crit rate, crit damage, and effect res. Endgame. Stats. Aim for at least 3,000 plus HP, 4,000 plus defense, 50 to 90% crit rate, 100 to 170% crit damage, and 106 to 134 plus speed. To be honest, both the Eidolon and Lightcone are great choices for Aventurine. Here's my personal opinion. If you're struggling to decide which one to get, go for the Lightcone, especially if you want to maximize his damage output and use him in a follow-up attack team or on the Acheron team. Otherwise, you can choose the Eidolons. Team comps. The team setup I'm showing on the screen is based on the latest Memory of Chaos data. Feel free to pause the video and start planning your squad. But if you're curious about my personal setup, I usually run with Acheron, Black Swan, and either Welt or Kafka, depending on the situation, along with Aventurine. Here are some great things about Aventurine. He's very flexible with various teams and gains SP easily. He's fantastic at consistent shielding, debuffing, and crowd control, and he has a solid damage output thanks to his abilities and follow-up attacks. Now, for the not-so-great parts. His debuffs are single target only, and without his signature Lightcone, you won't be able to reach his highest damage potential. Most importantly, no matter how many times you hit him, he won't actually toss you any real cash.
He's already dead.
Trust me, I've checked my bank account, still waiting for that Aventurine bonus to kick in. And that wraps up today's video, Captain N Gaming fam. I have a dream. One day I will reach exactly 1,069 subscribers, take a picture of it, and frame it on my wall. No joke, I'm serious. So please help me achieve this goal, and I'll see you in the next video.